Welcome to The Mountain in Us, a podcast where the journey gets its voice. I am Taran Singh, your host. Here we greet the thrills, jolts, ascents, and descents of our uncharted adventures. Hey everybody, today my guest is Nancy Ayala, a good friend of mine from a long time. Today we're going to talk about sibling hearts, healing, and divine hope. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you, Taran. I am very grateful for this opportunity and for you allowing me to be on this podcast.
Yeah, let's we've known each other for so long, and and having you here is my great pleasure. Why don't we just start with your La Familia? Give us a little bit more about your family and your background.
Yeah. So I come from a large Hispanic family with my mom, my dad, and five siblings, three older brothers and two younger sisters, and 15 nephews and nieces. Yeah, I have four siblings still on Earth and one that has passed away.
How was growing up in such a big family? Give us a glimpse on what does a big family look like? How what holidays do you get together at?
Oh, yeah.
What are some of the things you like to do? And paint a picture for us, right?
Yeah.
I have only one son, so the big families are
Yeah.
are
Well,
shrinking daily, right? So give us a picture of your family. What do you guys do for fun? Oh, right, things like that. Paint us a
yeah.
picture.
No, we come from a large family, including cousins and uncles and aunts. And I could tell you that every day it's chaotic in a good way. Growing up with not only my siblings but all these cousins that I had, and having my dad's uh, or my parents' house, the main point of like the main events. We celebrate quinceañeras. Traditionally more, Christmas is a big thing or was a big thing in our family growing up. And we had a small little house in San Jose. And somehow we managed to fit about 40 people in there. And the house had only three bedrooms. And it was just fun, and those memories, I mean, something that I can't, like, I wish I could relive, but I can't, so it was just different in every which way.
Yeah, yeah, and you've shared with me about your relationship with your brothers, right? And why don't we also zoom in a little bit about going back to that San Jose house and how what were the things that brought you guys together as brothers and sisters? I'm the only brother for three, and I have
Mhm.
three sisters, and I when I look back at my life, as you said, those are one of the best times. We are innocent in a way, uh, and also we are also re- discovering that how how life unfolds in this bloom. And
Right.
so I just want to hear from you how you relate to your brothers, how that growing up was, and how you guys are connected till today in
Yeah.
hearts.
Well, I know growing up, my parents taught us, always respect your family, especially being in a Hispanic family. The oldest is always the most respected one, the one that you have to listen to and look up to, and we did just that. My brother Jose, we call him Joe for short. He was he was 13 years older than me, so there was a bit of an age gap, and I didn't see him just like a brother. I saw him like a second dad. When my dad was working two, three jobs, trying to support our family, he stepped in as a dad, not just for me, for the rest of my siblings. And I think, growing up, he would always take us to sporting events and um, spoil us. We were basically his kids, and he would spoil us. And um, I think we got closer as we got older, just because we were more mature and we appreciate everything, that he would tell us, advise us. And um, I'm sorry, I got a little emotional here. um,
No, no, I hear you, and I know it's tough, and when your brother is your fatherly figure, and also the one that has mentored in many ways,
oh yeah.
in your growth as an individual. Um, what Jose and Joe, like some of the memories that you cherish with him, and uh,
So one of my like fondest memories, we have a we were so different in so many ways, but so like at the same time, his love for music is something that I think I carried on a trait from his. Although his music was a little bit different than my taste, we always shared each other's genres and kind of criticized each other, but just his passion for what he did, because he was also a part-time DJ. So he knew a lot about music. But then I'm over here, traveling to go see bands and musicians and whatnot. And just like that bond, him asking, oh, how was it? Oh, just is one of the biggest memories I have, just that we shared together, and I think the last memory that I have that I'll always, 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 always hold in my heart was the last New Year's before he passed, which was a month. It was he passed February 8th, and we got together, all the cousins. We rented the biggest suite in the Fairmont in San Jose, and it was just, I don't know, like I felt like this feeling, like I don't know, and I hate to say it, I felt like this was probably the last time. I don't know why I felt that, and after he passed, we talk about that night till this day, how glowing he was, how happy he was, how it's just this memory that I'll never ever 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 forget, and his smile is just imprinted in my mind.
yeah, the picture you paint of such a jovial and a rhythmic man, and the memories you've shared, it brings closer to his life in many ways, and there is there is an aspect of us, um, that makes memory both uh, sweet but also bitter in many ways.
Oh yeah.
Right, and I know for years, you have taken healing also to your heart,
Oh yeah.
how talk when it's very personal, I know, but share what you can in your journey of healing with us. Is when you look at, first of all, what does healing mean to you, and how what you have done to brighten Joe, but also to brighten yourself, so you can still remember him and cherish him, uh, but also heal in the same ways, heal in a way that can keep you moving forward.
Yeah. I Well, for starters, I felt lost because I don't think I've ever felt a grief like that ever. Um, yeah, I lost my grandma when I was 13, and I don't think I really knew what grieving was. And um, my definition of
But
healing,
was there a challenge in accepting grief, right? And because as young, when we are young, especially, I've lost my
yeah,
grandparents, and recently I lost one of our loving dogs. And it's just a challenge sometimes. You can't even accept that you're in grief, right?
no, yeah, and absolutely. Like I feel like when my brother passed away, I felt like I was lost and I was not willing to accept it. And if there's something in this world that everybody has in common is death, and I had to accept it. I knew he was gone. Um, and for a very, very, very long time, I felt like grief was the nastiest feeling in the world. Once I accepted that he was gone, once I accepted that grief was actually another word of love. Grief doesn't have to be ugly. Grief is just a feeling that you have, is the love that you have for the person that you lost. And yeah, I had to learn and I had to force myself to accept it. And I'm emotional and but I have healed.
And we are all, we are all emotional in many ways, and these tears are of strength and love, and of the courage and the rhythm that your brother has seeded in you. So don't hold back. Give yourself permissions to remember him in the way uh, that that we all need to heal, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's in that's what families are. To I look at friends and families are that we just don't share the moments of happiness together. We
Yeah.
also share the moments where life brings us things that we might not accept it.
Yeah,
Uh,
and and that's the thing. Like life is so short. Life really is short. And instead of trying, and I know it's going to be bad moments, sad moments, but why not like try to embrace more of the happy moments? You know, try to enjoy that for the most, for as much as you can.
yeah, and Nancy, every time I met you, walking in and out of the buildings, or having lunch with you, it's the smile, the smile in your, the smile in you speaks about that you're committed to living in the moment, and sometimes grief just steals that moment for a while, but we find healing along the way, and find a balance again back to that, um, back to where we were in going through this transformation of accepting grief and then finding healing. What would you recommend? We all go through it in many ways. What were some of your learnings?
Yeah, no, I think that my biggest learning is don't hold anything inside because when you hold your feelings inside and you don't, express what you're feeling, it kind of kills you inside too. And the only way that you're gonna able to heal is if you let it out. And I know sometimes it's easier said than done, but it's very true.
And when you look around you, who were some of your allies in helping you heal, and helping you let go what was inside you? How did you build some of that courage to speak what you needed to speak, and not speak what others wanted to hear?
I know. I think that well, my best friend Ruth, she's actually like a sister to me. She's been my friend for 30 something years since we were little, and she was, she would listen to me. Um, I try not to go too much to my family because they were mourning too, and I felt like I didn't want to be a burden to them. I would write a lot. I would write about my feelings in the journal. I still have them, and that was a big, big, big help because some of the things that I couldn't tell people what I was feeling, I would tell my journal.
Yeah. And did you journal prior to that, or you just picked up journaling as an act of as an act then?
Yeah, I did it right after my brother passed away, and it
Um,
helps.
yeah. And you talk about finding a friend in Ruth, and voicing your deeper self. Um, what does your deeper self say today, as you look back into that journey, and now, and the bubbles of hope are all around you? How do you see yourself changed as a human?
I feel like I changed a lot. I feel like I reflect back not just on my brother's death, just in general. You start reflecting on life on its own, and You know, I think I see myself now much stronger than I thought I was. I'm not weak. I felt weak at one point, but I'm not. You know, my brother and my parents did not raise me to be a weak person. I have to be a strong person. And for a long time, I didn't believe that. But looking back now, I'm a strong person. And um, yeah,
Yeah, a strong person with a flowery heart, right? And
I
sometimes,
try.
we are strong, but we end up being stones, right? And knowing whatever I know of you and as a friend to me, and just that every time I've talked to you, there is, an upward trajectory of energy. I've never heard, "Hey, I'm down today, Tarana." I've never heard that day from you.
Yeah, just because my name is Nancy is not always negative Nancy.
Yeah, yeah, and your last name Ayala is like it has a divine connotation to it, right? And maybe like in Arabic, Allah means the one merciful God, right? And so I also see that that like all humans, we are seeded with 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 a bent of life and the ray of light that guides us to find courage in these moments. And
Exactly. Yeah.
in in aspects, as you look at your bond, has your bond with the music changed after that healing? Do you still listen to those uh, pieces that you and your brother enjoyed, and how do you celebrate that moments now?
It's funny actually because the music that I would criticize that he liked, I actually catch myself listening to it sometimes on the way to work, sometimes when I go visit him at the cemetery. I'll lay there on the grass and, listen to the kind of music that he would listen to. He was all over the board. From freestyle to Mexican music, cumbias, stuff that I really didn't like pay much attention to. I pay attention to now more, and I kind of laugh and giggle. And yeah, no, I think my love for music has, how do you say, has ventured off a little bit more now. I guess I've learned to accept more genres than what I was used to.
and and is it because of do you think it's because of you're a different person, or because just that that you find something different in that music now than you were than in your earlier days?
I think that I find him, my brother, closer. And I think that it just gives me that sense of peace, knowing that, you know, just I don't know, I feel like he's just there when I listen to things that I normally wouldn't, and I actually like it now. So I don't know, just comforting.
Yeah. In in overcoming grief and finding music as a healer, and also finding finding close friends where you could put your shoulder on. How does now Nancy look at your families and siblings? Has your perception of love and giving changed after going through this experience?
I think that I've become more attached to my parents more than anything. I I still have them here. My dad's 81 or 80, going on 82. I apologize. He's going on 82. And I don't know, like I've always loved my parents, obviously, but just like something about, you know, it's unfortunate to say that when you lose someone, you learn to appreciate more of what you have now on this earth. and I think I'm a little bit more attached to them than I was before. And my dad and my mom joke around and say, "Oh my God, you grew up and only became more of a baby now." Yeah. So they joke around and say, "Oh, my big baby, she's about 1,000 something months old."
uh, that's hilarious. And my parents also. My father is 80, and funny you say that, right? As I've grown older, I also find my love and my the time. I actually want to spend more time with them than less time. As how kids you want to run away from your parents, especially when you're young. What do you know about life? Right? As young, we're just so rebellious in nature, right? And
Yeah,
now,
you know what? Sometimes I even tell my parents, I still don't know about life. I'm just a almost 40-year-old teenager. Yeah, no, I've grown to appreciate them more I than I ever imagined. And they have a good relationship with my boyfriend too, and it's just I can have conversations with them now and not hide anything.
yeah, and coming out of that, I think is that one thing that I've seen is at least that you're able to have those conversations that you would shy away.
Yeah.
You've come a step closer to them to talk about not just the issue, but the real things that concern, right, or what is deep in you. And
Oh yeah.
sometimes people that we love the most, we hide the most from them because we don't want them to feel that we are vulnerable, we are weak, right, and
Or disappointed in a
not.
big yeah.
um, yeah, in in talking to you, and this is, no matter, as you said it in the beginning, that this the pain you feel for that love is so individualized, but the healing is so universal that we all need to come heal in many aspects. How does Nancy carry hope for the forward? I know you still have the challenges that you faced recently, and has that changed how you look at other relationships within your sibling and your friend circles now that you have?
I just I mean I know it's changed and for the better. The people that I have close, I see them as family, and just I try to go out of my way and reach out a little bit more to them, um, hang out with them a little bit more, because again, as cliche as it sounds, you don't know what tomorrow has promised. So you need to spend time and reach out to the people that you actually care about. And again, I learned all this after my brother passed away. So it has changed, and I think for the better.
And that acknowledgement of reaching out is that, you know give us a little bit more about there, right, in the world where isolation is a pandemic, especially, and our
Yeah.
as we become digital, right, we reaching out is just hi, hello, or a like. It's no longer here. It's no longer the conversations.
No. No,
Right?
a good conversation, I think is almost like extinct because people are always just texting, or like on social media. No, I'll text like, hey, a minute. I'll call them. I'll talk to them just to say hello. 2 minutes. It doesn't take that long. Um, I know they're busy. Send a text. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? You want to go get some coffee? You want to go get some brunch? Just trying to make time. There's always time.
Yeah, and there's always time, and there is also not enough time because
That is true. I know it's contradicting, but it's true.
yeah. But there is also enough time for us to know each other because life and death are they're seated in together, right? We all one day have to depart our flesh abodes. When you look at yourself, Nancy, as you're still 40 and still young, how has perception of the present changed, right? So to live in the moment now, how has that changed in the last 40 years as you see it from your siblings, from the years of your siblings to now?
Well, I can tell you in the last 5 years, it's changed a lot. Yeah, in the last, yeah, absolutely. I think my perception is like for me is I've started like traveling more. Not perceptions, like more like goals, I guess you would say. Like my brother left with goals that he didn't fill, and so the last 5 years, my perception of life is like, well, what are you gonna do sitting down doing nothing? You got to get up and do something. What do you want to do in this life? I love traveling, so I started traveling. My brother liked traveling. I'm like, let me do that. So I'm kind of like living for him, I
Yeah.
guess you would say.
Or honoring his
His wishes, his
yeah.
goals. Like, I mean, we all have different goals, and I can't accomplish his, but I have goals, and my it's not much of a perception. It's more of just goals.
So where are you traveling next then? Are you going anything lined up this summer?
Well, we just came back. Me and my boyfriend came back from Hawaii. We just talked about going to Mexico in December. He's never been to Mexico. But we also, me and a couple friends, next year we want to go to South America. So everything's up in the air right now. So again, we just came back from Hawaii, and I'm already planning where are we going to go? We're going to flip a coin. Where are we going?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Isn't the life all about traveling, right? We are also traveling through this world, and destinations change. I love Hawaii. Which island did you guys go to?
Oahu. We went to Oahu. Actually, this is my second time that I went. This is first time that he went, and I wasn't in the wedding. And we just extended our stay and decided to stay a few more days. And uh, we arrived at the North Shore, and then we went to the Waikiki side, and it was awesome. It was
Yeah,
raining, but it was awesome.
yeah, it's a different world. Waikiki Beach is like beach on steroids, right? There's
Oh my
so
God,
much
yeah.
happening.
Oh yeah, no, the North Shore for sure. The first time I went, I didn't spend too much time on that side, but I loved it. Like, I'm pretty sure next time we go, it's going to be a different island. But if I go back to Oahu, for sure, North Shore is going to be the place I'm going to stay at.
Yeah, I actually have never been to North Shore of how, right? I just skipped it. I do not know why, but I think maybe next time we plan Hawaii, we'll go.
Absolutely.
We should go there.
Oh my God, and
Um,
the food is to die for.
yeah, yeah, tropical fruit is amazing. Um, uh, as what I wanted to, the two things that are still stuck in my head, and these are tough conversations, or at least for me, I find, I also don't want to be abrasive, but I also want to make sure that I I am here to I'm having a genuine conversation with my good friend. What is one thing that you would say that Joe taught me, and lifelong lesson that I carry forward, and I always keep it to my heart?
Um, are you saying this
Is
rel
there any is there anything that you would say that this is what I've learned through my journey of healing, and remembering my brother, uh, that I want to pass it on to everybody?
Yeah, no, I think I mentioned it earlier. I think well, everyone's healing is quite different. Um, you're not gonna realize when and honestly, and I know this is gonna sound contradicting. I know I've healed, but I still grieve at the same time. My advice to everyone is, there's gonna be a point where everything comes out, and it's okay. Like if cry as much as you need to cry, scream if you need to scream. But my advice is like once you're ready, I think you should let it out. Let it out. Don't keep things inside because it kills you. And and I
But
know
it's Yeah, but isn't it tough, right? We are so used to instant gratification in every aspect of life. But both healing and accepting grief is not instantaneous, right? So the more I feel that whenever I try to, isn't they say time heals everything, but I do find it sometimes, no, that's not true. It
No,
can take.
yeah, no, that's what I said. Grief. I think there's a difference between healing and grieving. And I know it's the way that I see it in my mind. I can't explain it. I healed because healing before that, it hurt. Like it hurt. Grieving, you cry, you think, you're still a little bit, it's just, it's another form of love, and I don't know how to put it into words.
Yeah.
It's just,
No, these are these are things where the breath carries the words and the words are breathless. And and in 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 your outlook of healing, grieving, and hope, I want to see if there is anything else you want to share with us before we wrap up today's conversation.
just always say I love you to all your loved ones because you really don't know again when you're not going to see them again. I
Yeah,
carry that and I carry that to heart. Even I say that to my best friend, to my cousins, to my parents, you know, when I say, I love you.
yeah, that's three words of golden advice. I love you.
Yeah,
It's so easy to say. I think sometimes ego builds, and I think, and I can admit it here, and it's a safe space because it's only me and you. It took me a while in my life to say that to even the people that I love. I have a deep love for. It's just that I'm always scared of you know of saying that. I do not know why, but as men, you don't say
I
I
was,
love you that often.
I was actually very scared to say it all, like even to my closest people, but I, I say what I mean. And, when I call my parents and everybody, they're like, okay, you're saying that too much. Well, I don't care then. I'm still going to say it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think in the modern world, the connotation of love also, is is different. So I think that's also in backdrop of how what does love, what do you mean by love? It's so individualized, right? It's no longer the universal expression of just affection and care, right? It just it's more of, yeah. But I think you're so damn right on that one, that I love you is three words that can seed you the
Yeah,
bliss of
I don't
life.
want to, yeah, I don't want to leave the house and say, something silly, and that's the last words I ever say. Like to my best friend, oh, I hate you. No, I love you.
Yeah, no, no, I and I would say that I love you for coming here, and I've known you for so long, and a part of me always, I and it's these informal relationships in my life has taught me more about how to be more human in many ways, right?
Oh,
Not just
absolutely.
right, and find, I consider myself part of your family in many ways. Like, every time I have something that new, I know I have to go share it with Nancy because she cares about me. I know that, right? And then I tell,
Absolutely,
right,
100%.
right. So thank you for being there for me, and as my good friend, and bringing us the light of your brother in us, right? And we I wish him, as Sikhs we believe in soul is always there as you find him closer to you, right? And that,
Absolutely.
his in his journeys, he's always closer to you, and you are always going to be close to him. So with that, I want to give the last words to you. Anything that you want to leave anything for our audience?
I mean, I think I've said a lot. I don't know what else to say. Just,
You can say
I
I
think
love
that
you.
sibling, yeah, well, besides that, I think siblings lost is not spoken enough about. Um, and it's real. Like it hurts. And just, hang in there and you will get through this. That's all I can say. And also thank you for letting me, for you being my therapy session today. I appreciate you more than you know. And again, I love you, my friend.
I know, and I think this is, and this, not this is more than a therapy session. I think this is a life session for us in many ways. We sooner or later we face a loss of our loved one, and we do not know what to do. There are more walls that we hit than hearts we find.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and finding just sometimes one heart is good enough to keep ourselves warm and and compassionate and kind, right? And because at least what I found myself, whenever I'm going through a rough phase, my compassion is gone. I'm more abrasive in life, and I have to tell myself, "Hey, Taran, wake up.
Yeah.
Don't need to be abrasive. Just and I think I'm going to take this mantra of I love you to my heart, and I'm going to speak that more often, not just casually, but
No, of course not. I'm not gonna go to a stranger and say, I love you, stranger.
I'm, I'm talking to myself. Yeah, no. Thank you, dear. Thank you. This was great having you. And as I said, I wish you the best. And we're going to have you again next time here, and we're going to talk about cooking. I know you love great
Absolutely.
food.
I love cooking.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you again.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
good
much.
one.
You
Bye bye.
too.
Thank you for joining us on the Conversation Trails of the Mountain in Us podcast. Each episode here is crafted with love, adventure, and reflection. We hope you have enjoyed this one and we welcome your thoughts on it. And if you want to be on the show, feel free to reach out.